Hello everyone, this is Kaizouwar here, and I kind of wanted to talk about the PSP today and my history with it. I don't have too much of a history with the system in particular. We mostly grew up in a Nintendo household. You know, N64s, NESs, SNESs, Game Boys, all that jazz. Honestly, growing up, the only console I had before I got a little bit older was the PS1. And that was the only other console I had outside of a Nintendo one. I played my PS1 a lot, but that's just not the video for that, honestly. That's another video. I'll probably talk about PS1 another time. But the PSP was honestly a system I just saw everyone going around with. My cousins had it. Everyone outside I knew had it. A bunch of kids at school had it. I was like, man, I want one. I want a PSP. And it took me a while to try to convince my dad to do so. My dad is majorly cheap and very stingy. So, my mom and dad would kind of focus on one child in regards of getting what we wanted. For example, my little brother, my mom would mostly get what he wanted. Me, I just kind of had to pray to RNGesus that my dad would actually give me something. But he did, luckily. And I got my PSP. I still have it to this day, actually. I still have it. It's actually on my shelf right in front of me right now. I just don't play it much these days. I do have the charger for it, thank God. That can be said more than with my old DS. I lost that charger forever ago. But yeah, loved my PSP. Loved the damn thing. It's cracking and peeling off now, so and I had no idea why, because the system went turn off for 4 years. And funny enough, it only started recently working about last year, and I found out it started working again. I was like, really? What you would just take you just hibernate for 4 years or some shit? What the hell, Sony PlayStation Portable? But yeah, when I got my PSP, I remember getting this far out GameStop, right? And I got it with a copy of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. But when I opened the case to Birth by Sleep, the disc was broken. It was as if someone tried to take the plastic off the UMD disc and take the mini disc inside to put it in the system. And I was like, what the shit? Did they not know the UMD went into the system? I didn't know that, because first of all, it was my first PSP, but the person who previously had this, you can't tell me they didn't look in the case. The people at GameStop, they didn't tell me they didn't look in the case and see that its copy was busted up. Thankfully, I was able to go back and get me another copy of Birth by Sleep, so thank freaking God GameStop had more than one copy, but oh my God, that was a horrible experience. I would have been pissed if I hadn't opened that case and went home and be like, oh God, what happened to my game? This is bullshit. So when I went back home, I showed my brother. I was like, hey, look, I got a PSP. And he was like, no way, man, you got a whole new console. That's not fair. And he tried to talk to my mom about it. I was like, okay, I'll get you a PSP soon. So he got one later. But before he got his, I went out to... No, this was after. Anyway, he got his PSP. And then he got his PSP with a copy of The City of Final Fantasy 012. And it was a game we were already looking up on YouTube and whatnot, and we actually wanted to play it because, hey, it was a crossover between Final Fantasy characters. It was a nice game. It looked awesome. We wanted to play it. So he managed to get a copy of 012, and I was like, oh shit, I want a copy of 012. But no matter what we went to, every GameStop that we went to didn't have a copy of 012. They only had the original The City of Final Fantasy. So not to waste my dad's long ass trip up to the GameStop, I bought the copy of the first The City, and while I had my fun with it, my brother just had all the cooler shit. He could play as Lightning for Final Fantasy 13, Tifa, Kane, man, it's not fair. He had all the extra shit, plus, he had all the extra shit, plus the original The City Final Fantasy game inside of that game, so that sucked. That sucked and bummed the shit out of me. But later I was able to get my own copy of 012, so it wasn't so bad. Another game I managed to get was Little Big Planet. Now, Little Big Planet, I don't remember even owning. The only reason I bring it up now is because I looked in my closet and I found the case for it, and I looked at my PSP and I found save data for it. So I had it at one point, but I don't remember playing it, I don't remember buying it, and I don't even have the disc anymore. So Little Big Planet is a game I just do not remember even owning. I don't remember owning it because I have fragments of it around me, so there's that. Another game I did get was Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus. Now, I did have Guilty Gear XX, the Midnight Chronicle for the Xbox, and I did have Guilty Gear XX Accent Core for the Wii, but I wanted a handheld version so I can go on the go with it, and so I got the PSP version of Accent Core Plus. Honestly, it felt so weird playing a fighting game on my PSP, really, because I didn't really have that many fighting games for my PSP. Not counting Dissidia and not counting like BlazBlue Continuum Shift 2. I'm not going to talk about Continuum Shift 2 because I did have it for my 3DS and PSP. They're pretty much the same version, and yeah, that's pretty much that. But yeah, I did have Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus for it. Loved the game, had a lot of fun with it. Freaking Eno, like you want to play the story mode and arcade mode, and you get to that end of XX and you have to counter Eno who's like busted as shit and ruins your dreams. God, anyway, I did have another Guilty Gear game for the PSP, and that was Guilty Gear Judgment, and it's essentially the XX sprites and just you're going around playing it's a beat 'em up version of Guilty Gear. Honestly, I think I got that version of the game from a dude I knew. I used to ride a bus with him, and he would let me borrow his games for one point. And I was like, oh man, I want to borrow Guilty Gear Judgment. I never played that game before, so I played it. Didn't exactly have the funniest time with it, but I had a decent time, and I didn't want to complain to the dude that the game was not my thing or not, but whatever. So when I went to give the game back to him, he said, you know what, it's almost your birthday, right? I was like, yeah. I was like, well, you can keep the game. It's yours now. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I got a free game. Freaking awesome. I still didn't want the game at that point, but I took it. I still had it. It was pretty fun. Let's see, another game I had. Oh yeah, Persona 3 Portable. Now, Persona 3 Portable, I never got physically. I downloaded off the PSN, and that was back then when I actually learned that, oh, wow, you can download PSP games off my PS3 through PSN. That's a lot of PSs. But yeah, it was like, oh, wow, I can do that? That's freaking awesome. So that's how I managed to get Persona 3 Portable. It was I think it was like a sale for Atlas games that day. And I was like, oh, shit, I definitely got to get this. And I played it. Now, that was, I never played Persona 3 at that point. I did have Persona 4, but I never had Persona 3. And I didn't have the good internet to get it. Funny enough, like it wouldn't let me download Fest for some reason. I had like a bunch of errors, but I did get the PSP version. And plus, I heard the PSP version was the superior version from other people I saw, like the Game Facts. And I was like, okay, fine, let me get the PSP version. So I played it. Really enjoyed Persona 3 Portable. And then I got me Fest afterwards. I don't have Portable anymore for some reason. It's not on my save data anymore. I can't find it in my my memory stick. I think I might have deleted it because make space, because that game had a lot of space on it. So I think I just deleted it to make room for other games. So there's that. But yeah, Persona 3 Portable was a damn good game, honestly. Like I loved it, and playing Fest along with Side 2. It was like, wow, you play as a female character. That's freaking awesome. I was like, woo. But yeah, I was able to take it on the go, man. Playing Persona 3 everywhere I went was just like weird, My cousins, like my older cousins, would always look over my shoulder because they had PSPs and they would play a lot of Sims. They also had like these movies. You remember when they sold movies for the PS3? PSP. Holy shit! I remember that shit. They had like these movies converted into UMD discs, and they would watch the movies that way. And my cousins had a lot of them. I didn't remember exactly what games they had for their PSPs, but I remember seeing a lot of Sims and a lot of movies. Even my auntie Janet, she had one as sorry. My auntie Janet had one as well, which was actually pretty crazy. She had like a PSP where she just watched mostly movies and whatnot. Like, oh my god, I can remember that. Like, who would buy a movie for the PSP? Jesus Christ. Anyway, I did try to experiment more with games, dealing with games that involve English patches, right? My first attempt to work it out was Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Tag Force 6. I love the Tag Force series. I really love the Tag Force series, so I wanted Tag Force 6. Because Tag Force 6 wasn't exactly a game that was released to America. It was only Japan only. And that also took into account, like, okay, what about like the other games, right? Like Tag Force Special that came out way later, which I English patched to, which was, yeah, I wasn't very good at trying to figure that shit out. But I really did want to play the game, so I was like, okay, fine, let's figure out how to English patch this shit. Honestly, I could have just downloaded a ROM with the English patch, but I wanted to be bold and actually do it myself. And I managed to figure it out. It took me a minute, but I managed to figure it out. I was like, oh shit, I could do this with other Japanese games if they have it. Awesome, yay! And I just love Tag Force 6. I love the game. Tag Force 6 and the World Championship games for Yu-Gi-Oh! In general are like the best among the series. They actually like really do a lot with what they are given, especially the World Championship series. I want to make a video about them someday, but that's far off in the future. But yeah, Tag Force 6, damn good game. Love 5Ds, and when I got Tag Force Special and that English patch, oh my god! Like when Tag Force Special, and Tag Force Special is like like not compilation, my bad. It's like, it's like bringing in a series like original Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, 5D, Zexal. I didn't particularly like Tag Force Special. I just didn't, because like there's nothing wrong with the game, but it did take a hit because of all the added content. You didn't have special animations anymore. You didn't have like characters doing like special animations when they duel and stuff like that, when they pull out their cards, summon their monsters. Like you didn't have that anymore in Tag Force Special, because like it was too much. The game was too much. They were struggling to keep it on the PSP. And on top of that, the English patch for it sucks, because like it's full of nothing but freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged jokes. And I get it, like, it's supposed to be like a middle finger to Konami, and I get it, it's supposed to be funny, but that shit got old fast, and it kind of just ruined the whole game for me. I would have rather had a normal English patch, because those jokes got old fast. Like, imagine someone just repeating the same joke over and over to your ear. Yeah, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, don't get me wrong, but like those jokes being repeated for like the characters, like summoning animations, like when the characters want to summon a monster, they'll just reference something from the Abridged. This shit got old, man. Like, it was like, I wish there was like a normal English patch, because like I get it was supposed to be funny, like, and it even did that shit in the story mode. Like, I get it was supposed to be funny, but like, oh my god, I hated it. Anyway, moving on from Yu-Gi-Oh, I also did own Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max. Now, I did have Street Fighter Alpha 3 for my PS1, and I also had Alpha 3 Upper for my Game Boy. The one I played for my Game Boy Advance, I just played to death. Like, Alpha 3 Upper was like a really damn good game, and a very impressive game for the Game Boy. The fact they were able to fit all that shit onto a Game Boy cartridge, it's like a technical marvel. There's a video out there about it that really gave me some perspective about how much of a mad lass the people who ported this game over were able to fit onto the Game Boy cartridge. Insane. But yeah, I played Alpha 3 Max, got introduced to Ingrid, didn't play it much. I just liked my Game Boy version more. Like, I don't know why, the crunchier, compressed music of the Game Boy actually sounded a lot better to me than the actual console PSP versions, PSP and the PS1 versions, which is weird to say. I swear to God, that's so weird to say. Moving on from that, we have Super Robot Wars Z2, Hakai-Hen, and Saisei-Hen. And just like with Tag Force 6 and Tag Force Special, these games were Japanese only. Tag Force, my bad. Super Robot Wars is a game series where a bunch of mechs from, like, mechas and characters from various different mecha anime come together to play in a tactical style RPG against each other, or against like new created villains and new created main characters. You can play, you pretty much get to play as a new self-insert character, and you can hang out with the crew, and they also have like really good stories that somehow integrate all these characters within them, which is actually pretty great. It was like one of the best strengths of Super Robot Wars, outside of bringing all these mechas together. And it was another game, I was like another set of games, because Saisei-Hen and Hakai-Hen were different games. Hakai-Hen came first, and Saisei-Hen came afterwards. And outside of a port of the Game Boy Advance, one of the Game Boy Advance versions for the Game Boy, these are only other two Super Robot Wars games on the PSP. It took a lot of work to try English patch it. You couldn't English patch the story. No one cared enough to do that, so they just English patch like stuff like menus and stuff like that, just so you won't be blind walking around the game trying to figure out shit, which is actually pretty fun. But I believe everyone should play Super Robot Wars games if you have any remote interest in mecha anime as a whole. Like, honestly, I really believe everybody should play it. Plus, there's a new game that came out called Super Robot Wars 30th, and you can play it now. It's actually like the first Super Robot Wars game that's been released in English outside of Japan. Because like normally these Super Robot Wars games, the most current ones at least, the ones that really came out in the past 4 years, they have English patches in them done by special team people they hired in Japan in order to do these translations, right? But they found a way around it. It's like, okay, we could put it on Steam, but you guys are gonna have to like import it yourself. So we'll English patch it for you, but you're gonna have to import it to get it. And I like that stuff. Like I like how they found a way around importing. I like that. And Super Robot Wars 30, if you can get it on Steam for English, like, because the reason these games don't get out is because of licensing issues. So too many series to keep track of. But yeah, Super Robot Wars Z2 was damn good series. Like, they have like a lot. Like, I think they're my favorite Super Robot Wars games out there. Anyway, There's also Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. I loved Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, but I did not own it. My little brother actually owned it before I did. We actually, there was like this thing we were doing for Christmas where like, I forgot what game I was going to get, but like, my mom was like, okay, this is the only copy of Crisis Core left. Which one do you want? And I was like, huh. Well, I mean, I wanted it, but I felt like my little brother would get it. Maybe my Christmas present would be better. And spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was like a book and some clothing. So I just gave up a game for that. So sad boy hours. Like, ugh, I hated that Christmas. But yeah, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. I love Final Fantasy VII, so I borrowed the copy for my brother. Played it quite often. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about it. It's a story-heavy game I can't really say much about, but if anyone has remote interest in Final Fantasy VII as a whole, or just want to play the game and understand some things, play it, You really need to play Final Fantasy VII to understand the game, though. You can't just jump into Crisis Core and like, oh yeah, I understand, yeah. Can't do it. A couple more games I try to work with in English patches. There's Final Fantasy Type 0, and this was like the last game I tried an English patch on. This was like before the HD version came out on PS4 and Xbox, and I kind of wanted to play it. But I wanted to because I knew I couldn't afford the HD version. I was like, I ain't buying that shit. I could just download the PSP version. It says an English patch, right? It ran like shit on my PSP. I don't know if it was a game or just poor emulation or whatnot, but like, oh, it was awful. Couldn't run the game at all, really. And I spent all that time trying to get that English patch applied to it. Like, it took me forever, man, and I hated it. So, yeah, it sucked. It really sucked. But I really wanted to play it, so I was like, okay, screw it. I'm just gonna wait till the HD version went on sale. And funny enough, the game went to $10, balls cheap. So bought it myself. Boom! I now own the HD version of Final Fantasy Type 0, and I don't even play it now. Still like the game though. I just don't even play it now. The other game I tried to English patch was Evangelion Girlfriend of Steel, and there's also Evangelion Sound Impact. I didn't own these games physically. These are games I played on my YouTube channel, and I'm technically counting them as games I played. They're still PSP games, so screw it. But yeah, Girlfriend of Steel is just basically this dating sim version of Evangelion. It's actually on my channel, which, funny enough, is the highest seen, like in regards of views, they're the highest seen videos on my channel in regards of a Let's Play, which is really crazy. A lot of people really wanted to watch my Evangelion videos. Like, oh man. Yeah, and there's also Sound Impact, which is a rhythm game version of Guilty Gear. I say Guilty Gear. Evangelion, my bad. So yeah, those were really fun games. And I think the final game I had for my PSP was Darkstalkers Chronicles: The Chaos Tower, which is just a modified port of Darkstalkers 3. It was like basically like I don't even remember much. I think I hated the game because like I just wanted to play Darkstalkers 3 again. The game was not very like good, like to me. Like really, I don't know, man. Like it wasn't a very good game. If I don't remember all that much, it must have really didn't leave an impression on me. So there's that. So yeah, that's my history of my PSP. I really had a lot of fun with the system. Honestly, I used to go a lot of places playing the game, play at the school. I knew this dude actually named Brandon who had a PSP of his own. He let me borrow a couple of his games and junk like that. I remember him just like he was a really dirty person, like not like perverted dirty. I mean like dirty, like physically. Like I don't think he had the best home life, but he was a really nice dude, and he let me borrow a couple of his games sometime before he moved away, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's the history about PSP and all the games I had for it. I guess I'll see y'all next time. Hope y'all have a great day. Peace out, and thank you for listening to my story.